everybody. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm Mahalakshmi Prabhakar. I'm the guest editor and curator for this month's Emotion Wonderment at Alap. I thank you, Akhila and Alap, for giving me this opportunity. And I'd like to thank the children who are here for agreeing to be a part of this panel. So when we wanted to do something around wonderment, we felt the most natural form of this emotion and the most in its purest and natural form, all we have to do is talk to children and observe children. And that's why we are here today. We are here with 4 fantastic child artists, Sahasra, Sahana, Greeshma, and Janani, with whom we are going to talk to about their work. They've been about their work, about their dancing, about what they like to do and things like that. So that is today's dose of wonderment from Alap. Over the past 1 week, these children have been sharing very cute videos and profound thoughts on Alap through their 1-minute videos. And this was a daily dose of wonderment for us on Alap Instagram handle. And this culminated into this panel discussion today. So once again, welcome all of you. And thank you for agreeing to be a part of this, all of you. So I'd like to begin asking questions to Sahasra. But before we go forward, I'd just like to introduce Sahasra. Sahasra has been learning Bharatanatyam from her mother, Janani Murli, and her grandmother, Guru Padma Murli. She's been a part of the junior ensemble of their dance school. And apart from dance, she loves math and she also plays tennis. Sahasra is very busy with her matches and hard to catch as well. Thank you, Sahasra, for being here today. I got to know about Sahasra through these very cute 1-minute videos and 1-minute dose of wisdom she was giving all of us during the pandemic. So Sahasra, can you tell us about these videos that you make? What are these 1-minute reels about? How did you go about it? What was the process? Did you take some help from your mother and everything around that with your 1-minute dose of wisdom?
I made those videos because during the pandemic, people were losing many lives. And so I wanted to make something that would give them joy for some time.
Oh, that is such a noble thought, Sahasra. But how did you go about the process? Did your mother help you or did you do it all by yourself?
My mother helped me refine the ideas that I thought of. And she also edited the videos for me.
She also edited the videos. But did you also learn a lot during this process?
Yeah, my mother taught me many things.
Like
she taught me how to edit those videos.
All right, that's a great skill to have, Sahasra, today, considering everything is going online. And these videos are fantastic, Sahasra. Congratulations on giving us your dose of wisdom during the pandemic. It really impacted me and helped me going during some tough times, Sahasra.
Thank you.
Okay, so my next question is for Janani. Janani is a student of Upadhyay School of Dance. And Janani also writes reviews on dance performances. She has received scholarship from CCRT and she performs and she has also made videos for the Natyakala conference, the theme music, and she's a very smart kid. And I know her because she attends some of my scholarly discussions and also workshops. Welcome to this panel, Janani. I'm going to ask you a question that I am always asked. What made you interested in dance history and how does it impact your dance? I'm asked this always and I want to know it from a child.
So at our dance class, our teachers, they not just encourage us to keep dancing, but they also support us to participate in dance exams. Like Gandharva exams and the state board exam. So we have given junior exam and Gandharva exams, and that is when we first got an entire bulk of dance history complete. Like you have to keep revising the text, or at least until the exam gets over, on loop, and it is not mugging up because it's about dance, so it already comes with fun and interest, so nothing has to kindle it newly. And my mother is one person who doesn't like history much as a subject, but she's really interested in dance history, and she also used to teach some extra shlokas or information, and we used to study with some funny stories, and like, so that we'll not forget it, we'll study with some kind of tricks and all. And apart from that, on the onset of the golden age of Corona, our dance school has begun Antarshala, and along with that, Shruti ma'am started a class, like conversation meetings called discussions, which would be held every Thursday, and it would be about topics related to dance, which were very important to us. And that's when I also met you, Mahalakshmi ma'am and Aranyani ma'am. And like Arjun Bharadwaj sir, who takes cultural classes for Upadhyay school students, he gave us a broader view about temples. Like for example, he told that they were not places of just worship, but it was much more than that. And I also heard your talk that still dancing in temples is much different than those days. Like we have stages, and we don't dance in the temples as it is. Like similarly, it also changed my idea about using space and direction. Like even Pashnath sir used to say long back that in our Rangapuja Nritya and Shabdam, he used to repeat the same step in several directions when he was a kid in temples, because people used to be everywhere around him. But now we do it only in right, left, and center. And sometimes when we also hear about honorable people in dance history, we get more attachment and patriotism towards dance, like it's ours and we have to protect it. We can change it, but we should still keep the beauty as it is. Once even Shruti ma'am said that when Bala ma'am was asked about the future of dance, she very kindly said that she left it to the nature of evolving, and it impacted my thought about art having to align to the age in which we are and all that. So yes, not just dance history, but in general, any text, speech, even a painting, or the way my grandparents tell me, like they used some different kinds of tools, like the one they used to grind the mardani or mehendi chutney and all, and everything. Like you get the atta powder, or any kind of thing can give us inspiration. Like even people, Koratis, they give that kind of sarcastic glance. Everything will affect our dance, because once we think a certain way, it will reflect on how we understand characters or the setting or anything in a composition, and it will definitely reflect on how we present composition also. Like recently, even my teachers did a tutoring, and Shruti ma'am twisted the story in the end. She made the jealous girl the main person about whom everyone else was gossiping. And then even Pashnath sir did the same item as a man, and it was very interesting. So that's how I got into dance history.
Dance, Janani, and I hope you continue with this passion you have for history. Next, I'd like to introduce Greeshma. Greeshma is a student of Srimati Asha Sunil Kumar, Srimati Kirtana Ravi, and Trupti Thakkar. And she has participated in many dance competitions and won prizes. And she's very involved in learning Kannada language and Vachana Sahitya. Yes, am I right, Greeshma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can you tell us about your interest in Kannada language and Vachana Sahitya, and do you think these things help your dancing?
Yes. As my mother tongue is Kannada, so our primary communication at home is Kannada with my dad, with my mother, and my grandfather. So we buy both English and Kannada newspapers. I had keen interest to learn and how to write Kannada, because I used to see my parents write Kannada. So our Kannada newspapers, Udayavani and Karnataka Malla, helped me to identify the letters in the bold scripts, in the main headings. And with the help of my grandfather, he taught me how to read and write both. So I started to join the letters in the newspaper and try to connect and to read the words and understand the sentences. This also continued with the help of my parents. Actually, my dad is a good reader of Kannada literature. He has a huge collection of books. He kept reading stories and books of people like Kuempu, Shivarama Karanth, and DVG sir, and short stories of Guru Raj Kharjagi, biographies of like Indian personalities during bedtime to me. And all these increased my interest towards Kannada language and how the people wrote Kannada. And my father asked me just to copy from the books on writing the board, which I started initially. And then I was asked to write one vachana per day on the board. And even though I was not able to read all the letters, Vattakshara, etc., but I still continued and made an effort to write and join letters what I knew and read it with the help of my parents. I joined Chinnara Bimba. It is a socio-cultural organization in Mumbai, which promoted Kannada in Mumbai for 23 years, and with suggestion of Dr. Purnima Shetty ma'am of Mumbai University. At Chinnara Bimba, my teacher Srimati Kumuda Aiva taught me grammar of Kannada, which helped me learn Kannada with script and grammatical background. I just used to read words. I didn't know what is grammar in Kannada, what is pronouns and nouns. But due to going to Chinnara, I started learning all those, which I never did actually, even though I knew how to read and write fluently. I'm just enjoying reading and writing Kannada with enthusiasm to learn more. I would like to do more things in Kannada, and it helps me in dance as I can understand the meanings of the dance better. Like suppose there's Kannada songs, or even a few Kannada words are there in Sanskrit songs. So I can understand the meanings and emote the dance better. That's what I think.
We all have so much to learn from these children in an age where languages are losing importance. It is fantastic that Greeshma, you're continuing to learn, pursue Kannada at such a serious level. Next, Sahana. I'd like to introduce Sahana. Sahana is a grade 9 student and she learns Bharatanatyam from her mother, Guru Purnima Kaushik. Sahana also learns Carnatic music as seriously as she pursues Bharatanatyam, and she is learning contemporary dance as well. Sahana, I wanted to ask you about contemporary dance. How does that help your Bharatanatyam, or does it help? How do you feel learning a totally different art form, and how do you manage and balance between the two?
I started learning contemporary about a year and a half ago, and it has definitely helped me in both the agility and the creativity points of dance. When I first started learning, I did not want to go. I did not like it at all. But then after my parents forcing me to go for it for a little while, I actually started to love it because I was able to do stuff with my body that I thought was never possible. And now I'm also a lot more agile, and my stamina has built up a lot, which also helped me when I did my Saranga Puja last year, because I had a lot of stamina to dance on stage because it's so hot and you have to keep going, you cannot stop. And contemporary has also helped me increase my creativity a lot more. I can now show anything simple like a deer or a deer grazing to anything very differently in many ways. There's not one particular way that you have to do it. So it definitely helps a lot. Right now, my contemporary, I've not reached a certain level, so balancing both is not that hard, but I don't want to let go of it. So I'm pretty sure as I go on learning, it'll become a lot more easier to balance both.
For me, because I've been wanting to explore other art forms, and you gave me the purpose today. Thank you, Sahana. Yeah. So the next one question I have is about the pandemic and during the pandemic. Sahasra and Sahana, you were with your gurus at home locked up all day. And Greeshma and Janani, you were probably missing your live classes and gurus. So I want to know what is the contrast. Sahasra, how did you feel being locked up with your mother, learning dance? Would she make you learn every day, or how did you like it during the lockdown?
I actually liked it because when everyone else was doing online classes, I could do offline. But also it was a little confusing. My mother would show the left hand for the online class, but I had to do the opposite.
Yeah, it's very, very confusing. I understand. Sahana, how was it preparing for your Salanga Puja with your mom locked up all day during the pandemic?
It was not as bad as I thought it would be. So, I like Sahasra said, we had offline classes, which was both an advantage and a disadvantage, because she could see what every movement I was doing. So if it wasn't okay, she would correct me first. And it was also very confusing because for me, everybody was doing the opposite. So I wasn't sure whether I was doing it correctly or if it was just a reflection. But yeah, preparing for the Salanga Puja definitely helped a lot because I never had to go through online classes. So I always was practicing a lot more than someone else who has to learn online. So.
That's very true. And Greeshma, how was your process online learning? Was it difficult? Did you miss dance classes?
Yes, I really missed my teachers and my dance class and my dance friends. It was that we couldn't have like one-to-one interaction with our teachers and could not get corrections. Even if Akka taught the Adavu like thrice, we couldn't get it right and we would make many mistakes. And dance is an art form which needs to be learned physically observing. So it was a pretty difficult task to grasp things online. Still, our teachers tried their best and made us understand by correcting many times, and they gave individual attention to each student until we got it right. So it is the same applies for studies with me, as we couldn't grasp complex concepts by watching videos and PPTs. I would say that the concept of teaching with a board and a chalk is the best for understanding. However, practicing anything the same way in many times with a precise manner will help us to learn the concept thoroughly. But I missed dance class a lot.
Okay. And Janani?
Actually, more than school or anything, I have missed my dance class the most. I missed my teachers and friends a lot. Like nothing comes like talking with your friends in the break and then going and doing it in the class. Because if it was online, then you will see so many screens. And but if it was offline, like our sir and ma'am, like they have arranged a big mirror in front of us, so we can look at ourselves, and it will be very nice. But if it's online, we'll have so many grids to look at, and I like looking at myself. So it's a kind of very interesting thing to go offline. And there even if you see somebody else doing something very beautiful, like in the next break immediately I'll go and ask them how did you do it and all that. But online we can't do that. It's a very different thing. And that too online, my teachers didn't make it very frustrating or irritating to look at videos and learn and all that, because whenever they arranged Swadhyaya videos for us, and in that like in between sir used to make jokes and all that with music and video effects and all that. And in between sometimes even they'll tell us like now we know you'll get tired, you should not sit and watch the video, get up and dance and all that. It will feel like really they are watching us, and it will always be interesting for us. We have never lost interest during the pandemic.
Gurus. All right, I'm going to ask you one question, each from your respective gurus. Sahasra, your guru and mother wants to know if you like learning from her or your grandmother, and why?
I like learning from both of them equally. It's little different from my mother and grandmother. My mother takes one specific thing and makes it a little more elaborate. My grandmother takes a small thing, makes it short, but also puts elaborate movements.
So Janani and Guru Padma Murli have gotten some feedback from their student on their teaching here. So it's equally, you like the process with both of them. Yes, okay. Sahana, your mother and guru asks you that, dance does not give you instant results, right? So how does that help you in academics, and how do you carry forward principles of dance to life and otherwise?
Dance teaches a lot, like you don't get instant results. So that has helped me while studying, because I cannot expect to learn something and like a concept and be able to do it perfectly the first time I'm doing it. It's definitely taught me to be a lot more patient with what I do. So yeah.
I can see that, Sahana, you have that calm demeanor and very, that the poise that dance gives you has really gotten to you. Yeah. Greeshma, Kirtana wants to know, what is your most fun memory of learning from her?
My most fun memory of learning from her is when ma'am teaches us by giving like real life examples, and she says that you be that character, like act like you're baby Krishna, act like, show all your naughtiness on stage, be baby Krishna, don't act like an adult. And when she cracks jokes in the class which are related to dance, I really love those moments.
Beautiful, Greeshma. Janani, we'll go with the question, but I want the others to answer Janani's teacher's question as well. Would you speak up if you disagreed with your teachers? And I want the others to give me the answer as well. Would you speak up if you disagree with your teachers?
I will definitely think some 20 times before I speak, but I will speak, because my teachers always give me that space, and they always want us to speak. They are very different teachers. They always want us to speak, and they always tell us that even if you don't like this way, do it another way. Even when we do a choreography, they tell us that if you don't like this step, try something else different, and put in your own creativity. They will always give us space, but I think we should still use it properly. We should not like keep changing it, but yeah, we should keep some limit.
Would you speak up? Sahasra, would you speak up if you disagreed? Easy for you, right? It's your mother.
Yeah, I think I'll speak up.
You will speak up. Okay. But in a polite and nice way.
Yeah.
Okay. Sahana, would you speak up if you disagreed with your teachers? Talk about this in general, your music, your contemporary dance, if you disagreed with something.
I think with my mother at home, I would speak up, but in dance class, I would think twice, because my mother and my teacher. In music class, in all three, I will speak up, but I will think twice before doing so.
Fair enough. I think we all should think before we speak, but we should speak up. And Greeshma, would you speak up?
Yes, I would speak up, but as others, I would think a few times, like, is ma'am correct or should I speak up? And then I would tell her personally and then in front of all the students. So I know if I was right or not.
Wonderful, Greeshma. So you're all very nice children. Okay. One last question I have for all of you is, do you have any future goals for dance, or specific areas that you'd like to improve within dance or even outside? Do you have such goals? Anybody who wants to go first? Sahana?
I'm pretty sure everybody will say this, but I want to improve a lot more, and I want to perform a lot more without actually being very afraid of it. I want it to be like a fun activity. It is fun, but without the stressful part of it. And
Yeah.
music, the same thing.
Janani, do you have any goals specifically for dance?
I will keep dancing without stopping dance for any other reason. Definitely, I will also focus on studies and all, but I always keep that different and this different, and it will always keep going for me, because whenever I dance, I feel like once I finish that practice or the class session, the next few hours, I'll be very energetic, and whatever I want to do, I'll do it really fast, and like it'll also come out really well, because other times I'll feel quite lazy and it won't be like I'll just get stuck up with one place. But when I dance, it always keeps me going, and it gives me some kind of energy, and I'll be all powered up. It's not always tiring. It's just the opposite than what other people might understand of me. And apart from dance, as a person also, I always focus on becoming a better person. And yes, that's my goal.
Thank you, Janani. Sahasra, do you have any goals with dance? You said you like both Abhinaya and Nritta. Is there any particular thing that you would like to improve on?
I want to improve a lot more, and also I want to perform a lot.
Perform a lot. Yeah, I think now that we are getting more and more opportunities, and I really wish you all perform, and we should see more of all of you. Greeshma, do you have any specific goals in dance?
Yes, I love dance and I'm keen to be engaged with dance forever. I have a desire to teach dance to many people and pursue higher education in dance. I also want to complete my Arangetram, and I want many people to learn Bharatanatyam and perform so that the dance form is well propagated to the next generation. I want to learn more Abhinaya and I want to perfect the Nritta part. Areas I would like to improve is to give perfect expressions that have a relation with the song. I would also like to improve my confidence and my agility.
You will improve in all of this, we're very sure. If anybody watching live on Facebook, you have any questions, please let us know. I have one more last question, I promise. This is the last. If there is one thing you want to change about your dance class, what is it? You can choose not to answer if you don't want to answer. About the dance form, if there is no, you love your classes as such. You love your teachers as such. I think all your teachers have done a fantastic job in training you to be good children first and good dancers and being wise children. And I think everybody watching on Facebook is very, very proud of all of you. And I really hope you take these principles of dance and they translate into life, because dance, like Sahana said, is much more than just dancing to a piece of music, right? There is so much into dance that we embody, and these principles. I hope you carry this forward, and I hope all of you grow up to confident women, confident dancers, and fantastic people. Yeah. Are there any questions, Alap, on Facebook, or do we close the session? If there are no questions, okay, we'll wait for a minute. We'll take a minute if we'll see if there are any questions that people ask. So, are your teachers watching? Teachers are watching. Kirtana, Shruti, you're free to ask your students questions. They're speaking so high of you. Sure, Janani, you want to say something about the last question? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Apart from just growing as a better dancer, I also want to keep writing my reviews. Like Karthik sir and all of them, once when I met them, they told me to write reviews, and if not share it, I should keep it with myself. So I find those things a little precious, because when I look back, I also learn again from them.
So there is one question: how do you balance academics and dance and all the arts that you're pursuing? Who wants to go? Sahasra?
I actually usually draw a timetable to say this is the time to do something and this is the time to do something else.
Do you stick to it?
Sometimes not, but
that's a fantastic way to go about it. Okay, Sahana, how do you manage?
I also have a timetable, but I don't stick to it always. So I make goals for myself. Like throughout the day, this is how much I have to do. I keep a particular timetable of this time to this time. I never stick to it. So goals work better.
Wow. That is so focused, Sahana. Greeshma, how do you balance?
Actually, for me, academics and dance have their own place. I also have a timetable. I follow it sometimes, I don't follow it sometimes. So whenever I follow it, there's a particular time. Like after I come from school, I have to do studies and then dance. So I have like particular timetable for it.
Janani, you?
Ma'am, for my timetable never works. So I'm this person, like if tomorrow I have some plans, like when I go to sleep, yeah, I'll just close my blanket and I'll have this kind of dreaming about the next day. And then like in half an hour, I'll fall asleep and the next day I'll be all fresh. And I'm a totally mood based person. So whenever I feel like, I'll get up and dance and then I'll come back when it's online class. Otherwise, once school is over, I'll just come back and practice. And for both of it, I'll always use some kind of funny stories. I always like to be funny and it always keeps me going. So I make up some kind of stories that helps me remember some sentences or paragraphs or words in both academics and in dance also. For some jatis, like I don't need keywords to remember the jati, but once the jati is done, me and my friends, we just make up something about it and laugh together.
That's a nice way to learn. Kirtana on Facebook has asked, what have you learned through the pandemic and how has it changed? Can we go in the same order? Sahasra, Sahana. Do you want to comment on that, Sahasra? What have you learned during the pandemic?
I learned many pieces with my mother and my grandmother, but with my grandmother I had to do online, so it was not so fun. I also learned the Hasta Vinyogas with my grandmother.
Oh, you learned your Vinyogas. Okay. Sahana, how has the pandemic changed you? Did the pandemic have an impact on you and your dance?
The pandemic definitely had an impact because I was basically doing one-on-one classes with my mother. So she would nitpick on all the small details and make me do the same thing over and over again until it was okay. So definitely helped me think about those things before I did dance or did anything.
It has made you a stronger and has taught you the rigor of Bharatanatyam, right? Greeshma, you?
Actually, the value I learned is to never lose hope. But in dance, we had the opportunity, like we can have classes till any time and we could learn more pieces. And even if no one is free, through online sessions, the friends would meet up and we would practice in groups. So we would improvise items and then we could show it. Show it by practice to teacher on the day of class. So we all would practice and make it perfect and we could show ma'am on the day of class.
That's very nice. Janani, what did you learn through the pandemic and during the pandemic?
And actually, the pandemic has taught me the same thing as Greeshma as well, like to keep up our hopes and always stay balanced, not just positive. Like we should learn to face both ups and downs. And during the pandemic was when Shruti ma'am introduced us to talking and writing, and that's when I got into this entire thing. And it also helped me grow into a better, wiser person, not just in dance, but also in the theories and speaking, thinking, and everything was improved during this time. And yes, that's how the pandemic changed me.
We have one more last audience question. What is your favorite piece or character that you have portrayed? Sahasra?
I think my favorite piece is Ada Hodalle Makkalu because I can be the Krishna who's acting.
Who taught you this piece? Your mother or your grandmother?
My grandmother.
Oh, okay. And do you relate to Krishna a lot, Sahasra?
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm Krishna.
The song makes you feel, okay, that's a friend. Okay. Sahana, what was your favorite piece? What is your favorite piece or character that you have?
One of my favorite pieces is the Desh Tilana.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed that Tilana a lot.
All right. You learned it during your Salanga project.
Yes.
All right. And Janani, your favorite piece or a character that you've portrayed?
I have loved every piece and every character, but now, especially recently, we have done Chudare in our dance class, and I really love it because it was just like looking at myself once again, because ma'am changed the story itself. Like the girl is a self-lover, and she looked at somebody else and felt jealous and went gossiping, and at the end the gossiping person came back and told that everybody is gossiping about you, not me. And it was very interesting. I loved it so much, and yeah, even my sister loves it, so we really enjoy it, because I feel like I'm that person who likes myself very much, but I'm not a jealous person, although. Yeah.
Greeshma.
For me, my favorite piece is Gummana Kareyadire, and my favorite character is Krishna, because in the dance I get to be Krishna, but in real life I can be myself while portraying the character of Krishna. So I can relate to Krishna in that piece.
That was fantastic. Did you all have fun talking to me? I had a lot of fun. I was very nervous because you all are so smart, so wise. And I really hope you carry forward these qualities that dance gives you and you grow up to be smart, wise, honest women and dancers. And I wish, yes, such wise words. And I wish you all the very best. And with that, we'll close the session for today on Wonder World. And we got such a wonderful dose of wonderment through all of you today. Thank you so much. You can stop recording and stream.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.